What up? What up? What up?
Hey.
Did you watch it?
Yes.
What'd you think about
Nutty
it?
Professor. Incredibly funny.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was, you know what it is? What I enjoyed about it the most was, I mean, like, if you were to just break down the actual story, it's a whatever story. But just how amazing Eddie Murphy is.
He's incredible.
As a performer.
I mean, that's why he's Eddie Murphy, man, for a reason.
I've never seen anything like that. I knew Eddie Murphy was all the characters. I knew. And even then, I was like, that's Eddie Murphy? Really? Just different personalities.
Which ones impressed you the most?
His big brother.
The Big Brother.
The Big Brother impressed me.
Yeah, the Big Brother. I didn't until I got older. I didn't know that was Eddie Murphy until I got older.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Big Brother was impressive. Richard Simmons
kills it as Richard Simmons.
Yeah, I thought that was a white dude.
You think it's a white guy?
It feels like a white guy. Yeah. And then the grandma.
The grandma. What about the mom? I always think the mom. I always thought he killed it as the mom.
He kills it as everybody.
God, I know the dad too. It's like when you really think of the dad is incredible. The grandma. You don't even know.
Yeah.
It's him.
The mom was the only one I could kind of tell. Like, okay, that's Eddie.
Yeah. The laugh.
Yeah.
He does the laugh for the mom.
And then when she does that, Hercules. That seemed like very Eddie to me.
Yeah.
But that was one of my favorite parts of the movie, the Hercules part. I was like, who talks like that?
Sherman. Yo, she's so funny.
You nailed the voices.
Hey, thank you, bro. He does so many.
Yeah.
He does so many. Because I only nailed like 3.
Yeah.
He does 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You nailed Buddy Love, the professor, Sherman.
Oh, yeah.
And then his two female, his mom and his grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah, you nailed that. I wish you had nailed Chappelle a little better.
Oh,
that's
God.
the voice you missed.
Chappelle's so ridiculous in it. God, you kill it, bro. Chappelle kills it in it, man.
Yeah, that's what you know. What's funny?
He steals the movie.
I heard people do the women are shopping thing all the time.
You never know where.
Nope, never knew where it came from. I just always assumed it was in some random ass Chappelle movie that I'd never seen, and I had no idea it was from Nutty Professor. Women be shopping, man.
Can't stop a woman from shopping. And then,
it's true, they do shop.
Hey, women do shop.
Yeah.
Yo, that's so funny. That's so funny. Oh my God, bro. And then also like you said, the fact that the second show he opens with that
same material.
It's like, yo, he was doing somebody.
Yeah. I got that feeling too. Who was he? He must have seen something on Def Jam and been
came up in Def Jam.
This is the guy. This is the guy that
he read the script. I was like, I know who to do.
I know.
Eddie, I know.
I don't know who Shucky Ducky is, but that seems like a Shucky Ducky vibe.
you just being racist.
Am I? Yes.
No, I don't think Shucky Ducky does that.
Okay.
I think he did like Shucky Ducky. I think he would say Shucky Ducky.
He would say Shucky. Well, if your name is Shucky Ducky.
It's definitely a part of the merch. If your name is Shucky Ducky, it's a part of the merch.
Yeah. He said like it was a hamburger type thing.
I think
like
so.
after every joke, you go.
I'm pretty sure.
Shucky Ducky after every joke.
Or maybe that nigga. Yeah, I don't think it was Shucky Ducky. I don't think Shucky Ducky was literally crawling on the floor.
Oh man, I think that was just making fun of Def Jam in general. Yeah, that was
so
nuts.
funny.
That was nuts. Chappelle's scenes were the best part.
Oh my, those are still my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah, they're so long. Each scene is very long.
Oh yeah, but also like we were talking about it earlier. His acting, just take the comedy out of it.
Yeah.
His acting is incredible.
Yeah.
You are captivated by this dude.
Yeah.
The whole movie. And he's playing all these different people, but the acting, it's like, man, there's heart in there. There's heart in each character.
Yeah. Each character has its own, like even Buddy Love, who is
a
bad guy, is like, oh, but like, I see it. I see like the likable parts of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the differences in each one and
it's very like the way they talk, their mannerisms are different.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I watched that and I was like, Eddie Murphy might be the funniest person who's ever lived.
Possibly. You gotta throw him in the argument every time if you're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, because that was just unbelievable. Just the level of talent.
Yeah.
Was ridiculous. I wish he came back to stand up now.
Right. I
bet to see what he would do.
There's no way he's not still, because he's still so. Just pop into the store, man. There's no phones.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no phones, dog.
But it's not gonna happen.
I know.
It's not gonna happen, man.
God, he's incredible in this movie.
Yeah, Jada Pinkett.
Anything I missed?
Anything that popped out to me that you missed? No, not really. I forgot. There's one thing I wrote down. I don't want to look at my phone, but I'm gonna look at my phone. I wrote it down for a second.
What were you about to say about Jada while you look it up?
Oh, Jada's like still hot.
Oh,
Jada.
like now she's right now in this moment in time, she's a very hot woman.
Yeah.
And in that movie, she is crazy.
Oh, that's my favorite. That's my favorite part during the first dinner scene. What after the mom does the Hercules thing?
Yeah.
She starts singing Amazing Grace. That was all the dinner scenes were mad ridiculous.
You like the bloopers?
I mean, who doesn't like bloopers?
Bloopers are amazing.
Bloopers are the best part.
They should put them in every movie.
Every movie.
Serious. I don't give a fuck what
Schindler's
it is.
List.
Bloopers.
Can you imagine bloopers?
I want a
Schindler's
bloopers.
List?
Bloopers in The Room with Brie Larson. I want
Brie
the
Larson.
bloopers after that shit, dog. I want the little kid falling out the truck and it's wobbly and then he falls to his face. Everybody's like, ah!
Let's take it back.
All right, come on, run it back. Run it back, fucking clumso face. You know? And everybody's like, oh, he's so cute.
Oh, man, he's been in the closet for years. Yeah, I mean, bloopers are the best part of any movie to me.
But what did I miss?
Okay, yeah, The Amazing Grace. That was the big thing. That was like I didn't know, even just from you talking to me, telling me, I didn't know how chaotic the dinner scenes would be. The dinner scenes
Chaos. It was hard to do.
Pure chaos.
Yeah.
Pure chaos. It's like, how did that look like when they were filming it?
Oh my god. You see, I like where he's about to cut his wrist and he's just got like that's so funny.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
Yeah, just talking about how much he's gonna come.
Yeah, she's just talking about pop go to Weasel.
Yeah, this is an intense kids movie.
Oh, dude, right? I told you, how many times did he say nigga in that shit?
A lot. Everyone says it too. The grandma,
Larry Miller. Dude, hey, do you know who I'm talking about now? When you saw Larry Miller, you're like, oh, Larry Miller.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of shit.
Yeah, and I've seen videos of his stand-up.
Yeah, he's a comic. Yeah. Yep. He's in the book that we read.
He is in the book that we read. God, he's just been a part of our lives.
Bro, he killed it in this movie. I thought he was very good, a very good, bad principal. Like you said, also a bad detective.
Yeah, oh, we found someone to replace you, Buddy Love. It's like, oh, you didn't, what?
You didn't even look at it.
You didn't even
get a resume.
You didn't even think, like, why does he know this random dude's material, stuff? Why does he know the Nutty Professor stuff?
Yeah.
Why does he know all that?
Why when I look in his eyes, I see Sherman?
Yeah.
Every time I look in his eyes, I see Sherman Clump.
I thought that was also a funny line. That was one of my favorite lines too was when he goes, I make sure you won't get a job in anywhere else in the universe except for planet Fat.
Fat.
And I was like, man, you weren't even trying to be clever.
Nope.
That's the best part of that. You fat ass. Yo, you couldn't make this movie today.
No, because it's amazing.
Yeah, you couldn't make this movie. There'd be too many
hilarious
social justice warriors.
We should make it. But man, people will still make original content, man. Because this is the original content movie, and people keep, people are edgy, man. People, it comes back.
That's what I enjoyed about this movie. It's like, oh, it's a very silly take on Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Very silly take.
Very silly. Very
extreme.
Yes.
But it's like that's what comedy is. It's, push the limits. That's why those movies where one guy leads the movie, like those Eddie Murphy, those Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura, where one man is leading. That's why they're so good, because they're extreme, man.
Yeah.
But they don't really make extreme kind of comedies like that.
No, not really. Or they don't make an extreme comedy like now comedy's all ensemble things.
Ensemble, which is cool. Hangover and The Girls Trip, those are dope movies. But Jumanji, but it'll come back. It always comes back, man. Shit comes full circle, man. It'll come back.
Is there anyone who could lead a movie like that now?
We don't.
Haddish, maybe.
Haddish right now for sure. Tiffany can, and I don't know, man.
Yeah, I can't think of any no one else pops up in my head.
The people that we don't know, they're out there in the world, but hopefully they'll do it.
Yeah, hopefully one of you goes out there and makes a Nutty Professor.
They will. I believe it, man. Comedy's the shit.
And make fun of fat people. It's okay.
Good stuff. What up, Beaners? What up, Ehsan?
What's up, guys?
You excited?
Let's get it started.
I'm pumped. Guys, I'm very excited for today.
Let me get my headphones on.
Get your headphones on, buddy.
Right.
You're going to need headphones for this one.
Okay.
Ehsan Ahmad.
Yes.
What happens in the film? 3:10 to Yuma.
We're doing a Western. I know it's a Western. Okay. So there's a group, there's a guy who robs trains, and he just got caught, and they're letting him out after years in jail. So he didn't just get caught. And
okay,
yeah,
a double beginning plot.
Yeah. And they're like, don't do this anymore. And he doesn't give a shit.
Oh, wow.
He immediately assembles his team.
Do you know who's in this?
Clint Eastwood.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's who the guy is. It's either Clint Eastwood or John Wayne, and I'm going Eastwood.
All right.
All right. So Clint Eastwood assembles his team. And, you know, they decide to rob a train, and that specific train is the 310 to Yuma. Yeah. And his team includes a guy who's like an alcoholic.
Okay. There's always one.
But great shot.
Oh, dude. Right?
Alcoholic, great shot, but unreliable. There's like a guy who can get them horses.
You mean a horse guy?
A horse guy, you know.
Okay, a horse guy.
A horse guy.
They're called horse guys.
Yeah, you know, he's like, I guess a cowboy, but there's a horse guy, and you know, and probably like
You said they're robbing a train.
they're robbing a train.
So what? That's the big.
That's the
conflict.
big thing.
So what happened? How's it?
The alcoholic guy does something alcoholic-y and stupid and gets on the sheriff's radar.
Fucker.
Yeah, gets on the sheriff's radar, and it's the sheriff, and you know what? We're gonna say female deputy.
Look at you being progressive.
Yeah, it's probably not that progressive. It's an old movie, but I think it's an old movie. There's also a newer version too. Which version are we doing? We're doing the Clint Eastwood old one. All right, so you know, and you know, big shootout on the train. Main character dies.
Ooh, Clint?
Clint dies. Alcoholic dies. Horse guy gets away.
Oh.
Yeah. You know. And what are they trying to rob? They're trying to rob just the people on the train. They want money. There's rich people on the train. They're traveling. The train is new. So,
It was a new train?
well, that's when we invented the railroad system, you know?
Yuma.
To Yuma. It's part of it. You know, it goes through that part of Arizona, I'm assuming. That part of Arizona. And, you know, female deputy kills Clint Eastwood.
And that's how it...
And horse guy runs away with the cash, but doesn't get to keep all of it. Loses a lot.
What a movie.
What a dumb idea for a movie that was.
I liked yours. I always want to make yours, man. I'm telling you, every time we do this, I'm like, I don't want to do mine.
Yeah.
Yours was so much more creative. Yours is way more creative.
We just had to make it up on the fly. Had to figure this shit out. Oh, God. Oh, God. There's probably a poker game involved at some point.
Ooh, you think there's some poker in this?
Oh, absolutely. That's how he finds the alcoholic shooter. The alcoholic cheats at the poker game and he saves him.
Well, I'll tell you this, buddy.
What?
Of course, you're wrong, like always. But
I mean, you don't have to tell me that.
but you definitely described some other Western movie that I haven't seen. I'm sure. I'm sure you described some other Western movie.
I'm sure too.
Not this one. But
seen,
it sounded like something that sounds like a thing.
I mean, the only Western I've seen is Blazing Saddles. So,
is that a Western?
Yes, technically, that's definitely a Western.
I mean, it's a Western.
Yeah, it's a
let me tell you this.
Parody of Western.
There you go. Let's say not a lot of. It's the only comedy I've seen as far as if we're gonna throw it in the Western genre.
Yeah, I'm throwing it in the Western genre because fuck everybody. That's why. That's where it is.
But yeah, I was like, oh, this sounds like a movie. I'm sure it is with Clint Eastwood, and it probably has Clint Eastwood in it. Not this one.
Is this the old version or the new version?
In the old version, it's not. I don't know who's in that.
Okay, so this is the new version.
I don't even know what the old version. I know there is an old version of this, but I don't know if they're the same. I don't know if it's like. I don't know if they have anything to do with it. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's like that's why I was like, you're probably right about some other movie, just not this one.
Okay. So this is the new version.
I don't know if it's a new version of anything. It might just be there's a Django Unchained, and there's Django, and then there's Django Unchained.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? They have nothing to do with each other, but the storyline's kind of like.
Okay, let's begin.
We start with a boy.
Ooh.
And he's waking to his little like a teenage boy, and he's waking to his little brother breathing heavy, like that, right?
Yeah.
And he he like wakes up and he looks at him and he kind of just like stares at him for a little bit, and then he blows out a candle. But as he blows out a candle, he kind of hears something, right? And he's like, hears something outside, and then you see it cuts to the next scene, and the wife is waking up, right?
Yeah.
And the movie starts, by the way. There is no the credits have already rolled. It already said 3 to Yuma. It's one of these kind of movies.
Okay.
Starts immediately.
Okay.
So the wife goes, Dan, right? She goes, Dan, and then the camera pans over to our lead, Christian Bale.
Ooh.
Batman and his bitch. I know, nigga.
I didn't know this was a Batman movie.
This is one of the best movies ever. Okay. Batman, nigga.
Like,
all right.
like every movie you tell me?
But this is actually a good one. Like other Rotten Tomatoes also, besides me, also says.
Okay.
That makes, you see what I'm saying?
This is one of the people that one of these movies people would actually agree with you on.
Well, critically,
as
89%. That's good.
Yeah, it's all right. No, that's good. That's better than all right.
So the wife goes like, Dan and Christian Bale, and he's like, he's got his gun, right? And he's kind of looking out the window because he hears something too. Where is she? And then she goes, oh, maybe it's the wind, honey. And then you hear his gun cock, and he goes, no! And then he starts running, right? And you see like fire, like clearly a fire has started outside, right?
Yeah.
And then he kind of shows him running out of the house, and he's hobbling. He's clearly like hobbling like that, right? He's running, and he's like, please stop, please, right? And then a guy just hits him with the gun, like on a horse, like poof, knocks him down, right?
Yeah.
And then when he knocks him down, you can see that he only has one leg.
Like you see a wooden leg.
The wooden leg. So he's putting his leg back on. He's like, please stop. You know what I mean? And then the guy who set the barn on fire goes, you got 1 week, Evans, or then we burn the house. 1 week, get our money. And they ride off, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh no, William. And his son already is running in. His son's running in the barn, and his son's getting horses out. His son's getting shit out. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
we got to get this shit out, right? And so he's running up to him and he's helping him get this with the son, and they're getting shit out the house.
Oh God, the son's about to die.
And then you can hear the thing, and he's like, William, we gotta go. And he says, we need this feed. This is our last feed, Paul. We don't have any more. He's like, William, we have to go. He's like, Paul, we need this. And then he pulls him out at the last second, and the barn collapses.
Whew.
You know what I'm saying?
Whew.
So they're just kind of looking at the barn, and they're breathing heavy, and they're just like, Jesus Christ. Like they're just like,
Yeah.
So the son, he's pissed, and he grabs the rifle as they're riding off, right? And he's pointing at him, and he's fucking like, and he's about to shoot, try to shoot one of them, even though they're clearly way too far. And then Christian Bale, the dad, he grabs the gun, and he's looking at him like, boy, are you crazy? And he doesn't say anything. And then he goes, William, I'll handle it. And then the son looks at him, and he goes, no, you won't. And he runs off. That's how the movie starts.
Jeez. So lighthearted.
Yeah. Pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
So next morning, everybody's waking up in the house, and the son is still pissed at Christian Bale, the teenage son. He's just looking at him like with hate, right? The wife said, is talking to him, and she goes, you lied to me, Dan. You lied to me. You said you paid off Hollander. You said you paid him off. You've been making our payments. And he goes, well, where'd you think the food's been coming from? The cattle, the horses, the feed. He's like, where'd you all think it's been coming from? He's like, we either pay Hollander or I take care of my family. I chose my family. And she was like, but we're supposed to make these decisions together. What are we supposed to do now? And then the boy, he's like, don't worry, I'm going to go into town and I'll handle it. And then the little son, he has the little son. Yeah. And he's like, are you going to talk to the marshal, Paul? Tell him what they did? And he goes, well, son, I'm going to. And then right when he says that, the older son cuts him off and says, the marshal ain't going to do shit. And he looks at him like, you ain't going to do shit either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he's kind of looking at his son, the older son, and then the youngest son says, maybe you should just kill him, Paul. That's what Will says. Will says you should kill them all. And he's like, and he looks at the older son, and the older son's just like, pissed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, fucking fuck it, man.
Yeah, this older son sounds badass. Maybe not.
You'll see.
Maybe he's angry.
You'll form your own opinion about him when you watch. You know what I mean? But he's definitely angry.
Yes, that's very clear.
He's a very angry young man, okay? So that scene ends. Then we meet our second lead.
Ooh.
Russell Crowe.
Ooh, we get some Crowe in here.
Favorite character in this. By the way, this is a Dark Knight situation.
Okay.
I very much love the
Russell Crowe's the villain?
He wears the black. This is how you all know. Westerns, he's got the black hat on. So you meet Russell Crowe, he's got the black hat.
Okay, so yeah,
he's got the
definitely
black
does.
everything, and he's drawing. He's drawing like a sketch of a raven, right? And he's just kind of drawing, right?
Sorry, that's funny.
That's what he's doing. He's just drawing this. It's a raven. Like
Yeah.
he's actually looking at a raven, and he's just kind of drawing it, right? And he's just kind of being. He's just stoic, real chill looking, but he's just. You can tell like, oh, this motherfucker looks scary.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's an angry dude.
So he's sitting there, not even angry, just
evil.
like the kingpin almost. That's that like, ooh, anger is beneath.
The quiet kind of evil.
Yeah, where you're
Ooh.
scared of, like, oh man. So he's just drawing, right?
You get him, Russell. Caw-caw.
And then you see him, and his number 2 comes up, right? And his number 2 is this good ass actor. I forgot his name, but he's in a bunch of shit. He's a good ass actor, right? And, that's what
his
you are.
name. Good ass actor in a bunch of
bro.
shit.
You good ass actor, in a bunch of shit, bro.
All right.
And he has like a black hat on also, but he's got on like a white jacket, okay? And so he says, he comes to him and he says, the coach is headed to Bisbee, boss. You know,
The coach? Oh, that's train, yeah.
well, stagecoach.
Stagecoach,
right now.
yeah.
Stagecoach is headed to Bisbee. And then he says, but he tells him it's got a lot of protection on it. And he tells him it's got like this many security, this many, it's because it's a bank coach, this many guns, this many rifles. And then he goes, and also it's got a Gatling gun on it. And then he kind of laughs, right? And then Russell kind of just nods, right? And then they ride off. They kind of ride off, and he leaves his drawing behind of the raven, and he leaves it like on a tree, and he autographs it.
Ooh, badass.
Yeah, doesn't say anything. He doesn't say anything yet, bro.
Yeah.
So he comes up to his crew, right, and he kind of nods at them,
Right.
and they split up and they take off.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Okay,
Here we go. Oh, I'm so pumped.
bro, I love this movie.
Heist.
And then also now you know, it's not. This movie came out in like 08, nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I remember when it came out.
So they cut back to the dad and Will, right, who are trying to round up all their cows, all the herd because during the fire, their herd got out.
Yeah.
All right, so they're trying to round up all their herd. And they're still arguing back and forth, and the son's telling him shit like how he's never gonna be him, and it's like, I'm never gonna walk in your shoes, Paul.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's pissed. He hates him.
Yeah.
So they're just setting up this dynamic of the son does
Also,
not
his
like
son
his
has
father.
2 feet.
Son has 2 feet.
So really never gonna walk in his shoes.
That's a pretty good joke. He could have said that. Funny. Yes, that's funny. So as he's saying that, the Christian Bale dude has to kill one of the cows because they come up on one of the cows, but it got hurt or
burnt.
something happened. Yeah, and so it didn't make it. So he has to kill it, shoot in the head. As he shoots it in the head, and then it cuts back to Russell Crowe, and you like hear a gunshot. Pretty much, yeah, he hears a gunshot nearby, and he's like, "What the fuck?" But then he focuses back in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you see like a guys on a bank cart like start coming up, right?
Okay.
Like they start riding on like a coach, and it's like you got 2 guys on the front. You know, you got a guy on top with the Gatling gun. You got some people inside, and it's all bulletproof. You know, like a bulletproof stagecoach. Like they're clearly just they're transporting like big bank money.
Yes, and they're used to stuff like this happening.
They're prepared.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
God, the Wild West was a
Crazy
ridiculous
time, right? This is how they had to transport money, dog.
Yeah.
Like you just had to go for it.
Yeah. Hope.
So right then, they start riding in, and
yeah, that's nuts. Because like when I would transfer money between my accounts, it's just on a computer. I can't imagine like, okay,
Sam said that this morning.
I gotta move it from my checking to my savings. All right, let's start this 2,000-mile trek across the desert.
They're moving fast, bro. They're moving fast, right? And then Western music starts playing like starts coming in like real hot, right?
Yeah.
And then bro, a full robbery starts. So you see his crew just riding head on with the
How many in his
cart.
crew?
Probably like 6, 7.
Okay.
Maybe 8, you know what I mean? They're riding head on against the.
Wow.
They're going head up with it, and like it's a big cart of like 6 horses, and and so the old guy on it, he's like, all right, look alive, here we go. You know, like it hits the back, and then they start like loading up the guns, nigga. You just hear everybody cocking, like the music's pumping, and it's like, oh shit, dog.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So they go head up, and then it cuts to Russell Crowe, and he's watching from every time it's funny. Russell Crowe, he's watching from above. He's not even in the robbery. He's just kind of like on a hill, like watching what's happening.
Okay, I like this. I like
just
this.
Gangster, man.
Yeah,
you know
I get
what
this.
I mean?
He'll come in when it's necessary.
So the old guy, there's an old guy who said let's go. He kills one of the crew. He shoots one of them down immediately, like one of the crew.
Yeah.
The Gatling gun takes out a couple more, right?
Yeah, right.
But now they kind of get to the point where now they're not ahead. Now they're surrounding it.
Yeah, so the Gatling gun's kind of.
So now you
the
know
Gatling gun can't swivel, huh?
Can't swivel. Yeah, I mean it can, but not all the way. So now they're trying to like shoot. Now it's just kind of like a shoot off, and they're still going full speed.
Right.
You know what I mean? The Russell. Then you see Russell Crowe has a sniper.
Yeah.
And it's an Apache dude, like an Indian guy.
Oh, that's dope.
And he takes out one of the guys driving. So now the old guy has to take the wheel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now he takes out the driver, then he takes out another guy, and then right then the number 2 comes up and he takes out the guy on the Gatling gun. So now the crew is starting to pick him off one by one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they're still going. And the old guy in the front is still like taking off a couple of the crew. You know what I mean? The old guy's kind of a bad. You can tell this old guy is a badass.
He's done this before.
He's done this before, and he's calm as fucking. So he's like not. Like everybody else is yelling and shit. He's like fucking like, all right, this is what I figured. That somebody was gonna try and rob this shit.
That's what you gotta do in those high pressure situations. Just breathe.
Right?
Just breathe. And stay calm.
Dude, when somebody's robbing your stagecoach.
Yeah, breathe. Dude, whenever I'm in a high pressure situation, I always ask myself, what would Tom Brady do? Take a breath, make the next pass. That's what you gotta do.
So Christian Bale comes back to him and he's hearing the robbery, you know, and he's like, he grabs his gun. He's like, what the fuck? He doesn't know it's a robbery. He just hears a bunch of gunshots. You know what I mean? So comes back to the old guy and he shoots another one of Russell Crowe's crew and he shoots he sees that he has a bag of dynamite. He shoots the dynamite on his hip. That blows him up.
Yeah.
So it looks dope, right?
Yeah.
And it looks like that happens and it looks like they're getting away. It looks like the stagecoach is like, oh man, they're gonna, because the crew's kind of falling back and they're pulling ahead. You know what I mean? And the old guy's kind of like feeling good. And then right then you see Russell Crowe, he uses Christian Bale's cows as like he shoots like near them and he uses them to guide, like stampede right in front of the coach. So the stagecoach comes up, the cows come out, it's going too fast, he tries to swivel, he can't, the horses, and the thing just huge wreck. Sends him flying, sends everybody inside just flying. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Like it's a crazy shot. For like a Western, you know what I mean? Like not a car crash.
Is it slow-mo?
A little bit of it, but not really. It's mainly, it's
okay, high octane.
High octane, high speed. You see the bodies flying. It's raw movie. You know what I mean? Very Western. This isn't action. This is very Western.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, gritty.
That's the word. Gritty. So they're flying, you know what I mean? And then also it's just cool because like, fuck, that is how a stagecoach would go flying. You know what I mean?
Oh, so it's physically dope.
Yeah.
Like, the physics in it are pretty dope.
No way you're stopping that fast, that many cows. It's just, they were flying, bro. You know what I mean? So the number 2 kind of walks up. He like hops off his horse and he walks up on him and he starts killing them, the guys who are injured. He starts killing them one by one, just shooting them in the head, right? And then he comes up to the old guy and he's like a creepy looking dude to the number 2. He's just a scary look, because he looks more scary than Russell Crowe because he's just crazy looking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like a psycho. And he goes, "Morning, Pinkerton." And he's talking to the old guy and he says, "Name's Charlie Prince, though I'm sure you heard of me." And then the old guy goes, "Well," he goes, "Well, I know a whore named Charlie Princess." And then he gets up on his knees. He's like, "You her?" Right? Like to like, fuck you. And then he kind of looks at him and then he shoots him in his gut. Just, all right, just shoots him hard right in his gut.
Oof.
Yeah. And then Russell rolls up.
That was your last line? I know a whore named Charlie Princess? Come on, man.
Hey, you're going out. You're probably just like, man, fuck you. You're not going to get it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you get it.
Yeah.
I'm going to die anyway, so fuck you guys. You know?
But yikes.
He's also an old guy. He was old. So they shoot him in the gut. Russell Crowe comes up. He rolls up and he goes, "When your hair start turning gray, Byron." His first words out of his mouth, right? He's talking. He clearly knows the old guy.
Yeah.
Because he calls him Byron, his first name.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? And the guy goes, spits and goes, "Go to hell, Wade." You know? And then he tells him how, he's like, "Byron, it'd have just been cheaper to let me rob the damn thing. Why you guys have all this security, all the Gatling, you know what I mean? You don't need all this. Just let me have it, you know?" And then he tells him, he's like, "Just kill me now, Wade." And he goes, "No, I'm not going to do that, Byron." And he goes, "Well, if you let me live, you better know I'm coming for you." He goes, "I'd be disappointed if you didn't, Byron." Oh, I was like, this nigga's scary.
That's cold. That's cold.
I'd be disappointed if you didn't, Byron. Also, he's calling you by your first name.
Why let him live?
Hmm?
Why let him live?
You don't.
Just that villain shit?
They've been going back. You gotta remember, so they know each other, and you'll see that they've been going back. So there's
like
Batman,
a respect
Joker. Yeah, you'll see. But anyway, if you let him, the boy shoot him in the gut. He clearly doesn't give that much of a fuck.
No.
And he's not. Maybe he's just not gonna kill him, but he's not gonna he's gonna let him die painfully.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who knows how? You'll see. So the other guy, a guy like throws like a grenade kind of inside the bank cart, but there's like a compartment in the bank thing where a guy, so it blows up, but a guy is able to shield himself, like a dynamite stick, but a guy is able to shield himself in there.
Yeah.
So when the smoke clears, he kind of plays dead. So the guy who threw the grenade in, he kind of runs in and he starts like, he says, oh, it's all clear. And then they start taking money out, unloading money, right?
Yeah.
So they're unloading cash. And right then is when Christian Bale and his sons, they kind of just walk up and they notice what's going on. And they're like, they freeze. They're like, oh shit, you know? And then right then, the guy who was pretending to be dead, he grabs the guy who threw the grenade in, like and said it was all clear. He grabs him. And I was like, all right, you know, everybody put your weapons down. I got him. Everybody put your weapons down. You know what I mean? Wade, put him down. And then Ben Wade's kind of looking at him, the Russell Crowe character, he's kind of looking at him, right? And then the dude who's got the gun to his head, he goes, oh, you messed up now, friend. You know, you messed up. And then Ben Wade kind of looks at him. And then he moves his jacket like really coldly to his gun. And then the guy like that's got his gun to his head, he's like, oh no. And then like in a second, shoots him in the neck. Yeah, shoots him in the neck and then the other guy in the head, right?
Yeah.
And then so and then when the crew was like, of course, they pull their guns out like, what the fuck? And then right then the number 2, the Charlie guy, he immediately pulls his guns out and turns on the crew like, I wish you motherfuckers would breathe, nigga. You know what I mean? And then the rest of the crew like, they put all their guns down. Yeah. I love inter-crew drama, by the way.
Inter-crew drama?
I love that shit in the Western. Because the number 2 was like, hey, I don't give a fuck what he does.
Yeah, also, if you're the guy hiding in the compartment, just
let it go, man.
Let it go.
Let him rob it.
Or go after clearly the ringleader.
Or just shoot to kill at that point. Because what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You think they're going to put their guns down? Yeah,
they charged headfirst into a Gatling gun.
They plan to lose some people.
Yeah. So clearly he doesn't care.
That is a good point. You know what I mean? He shoots him, and then Russell, he walks up on the body, and then he says out loud, we ain't got but one rule in this outfit. Don't put others at risk.
That's
all he says.
Great rule. It's a great reason to shoot your own crew member.
It's a good rule.
Yeah.
And if it's one of the rules, that is one of the rules.
Yeah. And that's what he did. He didn't make sure everyone was dead.
That was his job.
Yeah, if you're gonna murder everyone, murder everyone.
So cuts back to Christian Bale and his sons, and they're seeing all this shit. Mm-hmm. And then the father, Bale's like, Mark, talks to the son. He's like, look at me, back away, slowly, back away. And he's like, William, look at me, back away, slowly, back away. And they're backing away, but of course the horses make a little noise, and then Russell Crowe notices, and then he goes, he like whistles, and then they surround him immediately. But Christian Bale, like, he holds tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's like, all right, you know what? You know, he doesn't say anything. Mm-hmm. And then Russell Crowe rolls up and he's like, morning. And then he goes, Christian Bale's like, he's like, those are my cattle. And then he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, I want them. And then he's like, all right, and then he's like, all right, I understand. And then the number 2 guy goes, careful, rancher. That's Ben Wade you're talking to. You know what I mean? And like pulls his gun out, and then you can tell it gets kind of intense. Like, because the number 2 is like, I don't give a fuck, bro. Don't talk.
I'll kill your
kids. This is my guy.
Yeah.
I rocks with this guy. You know what I mean? So he's like, the Christian Bale goes, well, I need them back. They're all I got. And then he goes, well, I don't need your cattle. That's what Russell Crowe. He's like, but I will be needing them horses. Just to make sure you don't go off and do nothing foolish. And then the Christian Bale's like. And then he's like, all right. And then he pulls his gun up. And then it's like really intense. And then they all put their guns down. And then he gives them his horses. And the Russell Crowe's like, thank you, sir. He's like, you'll find them on the road to Bisbee. Got my word. And then they ride off.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, I don't even want you. I just got to make sure you're not going to do nothing stupid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So cuts back to the town. Right? Like the town that the bank was going. And you see a guy like in a kind of like a banker suit with a little money hat, like how they would wear back in the day.
Like a Monopoly man?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That guy. And he's like, his name was literally Mr. Butterfield is his name.
Okay,
and,
of course.
He's like, they're waiting on the money, right? And then you hear someone say like in the bank, like, they're just running late. And then you hear the Butterfield guy goes, Pinkertons don't run late. That's why they're paid $18 a day.
Damn.
That crazy? That's a lot of money. $18 a day?
Get that cash.
Post-Civil War, that's crazy money.
Yeah, and Pinkerton. These are Pinkerton detectives, huh?
These are this is their job. Pinkerton. It's a family that transports.
Oh, okay.
Transports money. You know what I mean? Like there was security to transport money. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's how Russell knows him. He's a bank robber. They've met.
They've met before.
You see what I'm saying? So bail, like right then, as the bankers and them are kind of talking to the thing, Russell and his number 2 ride into town. You see them kind of cool shot of them riding in.
Right.
You know? And then Bale and his son, comes back to them, they notice the old Pinkerton man is still alive.
Right.
So they get like some boards together to get him on his feet and they try to save him. They start trying to help him, right?
Right.
So then it cuts back to the number 2, the Charlie guy, and he's walking up and he, real cool, he grabs like a jacket and flings it around himself to cover himself up. And then he takes his cowboy hat and like flips it inside out to make it look like a poor person's hat. And then he walks into the marshal's office with the bank, you know, where everybody's at. And he goes, I think a gang, Ben Wade's crew held up a coach a couple miles back. And he says it like all like scared, you know?
Yeah.
And then they're all like, God damn it, we all knew it. And they start loading up and everything. And they're like, how do you know it was Ben Wade? And he was like, well, you know, he had an Apache sharpshooter with him. So I figured that was probably him. And then the banker goes, and it's been Ben Wade the last 21 goddamn times, you know? And then they're all like, ah. And then they're leaving to like go out the thing. And then he looks at the number 2 guy and he goes, well, why the hell didn't you do anything? And then he looks at him and he goes, well, mister, they had guns and they were shooting bullets. And the guy's like, ugh, right? And then he kind of,
that's a fair
great line, bro. I always loved that line. You know what I mean? They were shooting bullets. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean?
You think we're gonna run in there and karate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they all ride off, right? And as they all run out the building and ride off, literally Russell Crowe's, it's a cool shot of him standing at the next building, kind of just looking at him. Just watching them all run by him, you know what I mean, and get on their horses and ride away. And of course, right as they all start riding away, you see it's a cool pan out shot of the town, and you see his whole crew coming into the town. Like, and they all start walking in on one bar. You know what I mean? Like on one salon, but you can see them all coming from different places. You know what I'm saying? Like they were all already there chilling. And it's just like, oh man, these guys are fucking smooth, man.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. So they walk in to a bar, right?
I'd love to be a Wild West criminal. That'd be dope.
That looks fun. I don't want to be a criminal in today's time. That was scary.
No. Oh, hell no. But Wild West criminal is like, because it's like, if you're going to just be a farmer herding his cows and you might die, might as well be a criminal.
Yeah, it's the fact that like both lives are pretty much the same.
Right? Right? Like Christian Bale almost got killed just for having cows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point,
he lost his barn the morning before.
Yeah, might as well rob some shit. That's the beauty of today's society is you don't want to be a criminal because there's comfort in not being one. But back then, the fuck? What, you know, why? Why would
also, the odds of you getting caught are just don't be at the crime scene.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, you can have your number 2 tell the marshals that you did it.
Yeah. That's how much you can definitely get away with crime.
Yeah.
Your number 2 went in.
You're number 2. You're number 2.
Not even like you're number 6.
No.
The guy you need the most.
Yeah.
So they go in and Russell asks the bartender, he's like, can I get some whiskey for a couple shots for my boys, you know?
Right.
And they all, like they kick all the patrons out. They get all the patrons to go out to leave. And then the number 2 goes, let's take a shot for the 4 we lost in battle. Mm-hmm. They all take a shot. And he goes, and let's take another shot. And here's the boss saying goodbye to old Tommy Darden today. And then they all take a shot. And then Russell Crowe calmly goes, Proverbs 13:3. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life. You know? He says, but he who opens his lip shall bring destruction to his own life, you know? And then he goes, Tommy was weak. Tommy was stupid. Tommy is dead. And then the crew's kind of looking at him, you know? And then he kind of nods at the number 2. And then the number 2, like, calls them all up and he pays them all. And then Russell Crowe, like, just kind of, like, menacing, like watches, like, with, like, that power of just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, watching them. And then, you know, then they all leave. And then Russell Crowe kind of just starts eyeing the bartender. And she, you know, how hot she is. And he's just looking at her. And then the number 2 kind of whispers in his ear. He's like, you know, the marshal and Mr. Butterfield, they're going to be back soon. They ain't that stupid. You know, they'll be back soon enough. And he was like, he kind of sees he's still not paying attention. He goes, well, just know I'll be, you know, 2 doors down if you need me. I won't be far. Just call me. You know, I'll make sure if you need anything, I'll be right nearby, boss.
Right.
And then he goes, all right, Charlie, go ahead. He's like, okay. And then Charlie runs off, and then he just keeps kind of looking, staring at the girl, right? And you just tell he's like, oh, this nigga is smooth. Man.
Yeah,
smooth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so then he starts hitting, right when Charlie, like the door leaves, he starts hitting on the girl. He starts just talking to her. And then he says something about how, he's like, you know, I don't mind skinny girls, you know, as long as they've got green eyes. And then she's like still turned around. And then he grabs her and he like flips her around to like kiss her. And then he goes, well, they don't have to be green. And then they start making out.
Damn.
Good line.
Damn, that's a good line.
Like, because it was like, he just set it up where she didn't, he knew, he had that line ready for she didn't have green eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's run it before.
He's run it before and didn't have that line before. I was like, I need a line for if they don't have green eyes.
Yeah.
That failed.
Yeah, that failed a bunch of times before.
He was like, "Ooh, I got one."
Yeah. Well, what's funny because we know how lines work. He workshopped that shit.
Yeah, he had to fail. It failed on a couple of bartenders.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, Charlie, what if I said?"
So Bale and his boys, they walk up like they're walking into town, and sure enough, they see their horses. Like man of his word, he left the horses there for him.
Right.
And then right as that's happening, the cavalry's also rolling up, right? And then they're like, "Oh, what's happening? Where is everybody?" And then they ask the Pinkerton guy. They're like, "Hey, Pinkerton, what happened? Did he get all the money? Did he get away?" And then he's out cold because he shot in the guts.
Shot in the guts. When they're trying to question him.
Yeah, literally, right. And he's completely out of it. So
right.
They go. That's when Christian Bale goes. Well, I'm pretty sure they all headed into Bisbee. That's where they. He said they were going to Bisbee. And then the guy's like, no, because they're all like, we're all here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, fuck,
Yeah, wait, they sent every single police officer.
I mean, I remember Ben Wade is the biggest name in crime.
Right.
This is the biggest name in the American robbery at the time, like as far as how they're painting him.
That's fair. That being said.
Small town, too.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So you remember, this is a very small town.
I thought this was like one of those like Dark Knight where they send every single police officer underground.
No, that was in Gotham.
Okay.
You were in Bisbee. You remember the things isn't it all in Arizona?
Yeah.
The 1600s, there's nobody here.
Bisbee, Arizona. That's where Doug Stanhope lives.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then Yuma, Arizona is where the movie's about.
Okay.
You had that part right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but so all these towns are desolate.
Small. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So where are we at? So the
officers are there.
So it cuts back to when they freak out and they realize, right, that they are not in town. Cuts back to Russell and he just clearly got done fucking this chick. And now he's on some Leo shit from Titanic and he's drawing her. No bullshit. She's laying in bed, same pose, and he's drawing her naked.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's happening. And then he sees the cavalry kind of coming back into town through his window. And then he calmly gets up and he kisses her and he says some fly shit, right? And he, goes to like get ready to leave.
Right.
So they get into town and they take Pinkerton to the doctor, who you'd recognize. He's very famous. He's in you seen Knocked Up?
Yes.
The guy who's like, tighter. Gotta make yourself.
Oh man,
tighter. He was her boss, like at the E channel.
Yeah, I'm blanking.
Okay, if you see him, he's been in so many big things. It's very funny.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But he's in this, right?
Right.
So the doctor like looks at the bullet and then he's looking at it and then he tells him, Pinkerton, I'm have to pull this bullet out. It's still inside of you. And he's like, oh, just do it. And he's like, you're gonna want me to put you out. This is gonna hurt like hell. You're not gonna want to be awake for this. And he's like, just do it already. I've been shot before. And then like they go to hold him down. He's like, get your hands off me. Pull it out. Like you just like, oh, this guy's fucking.
God damn.
Yo, the dude's a badass, bro.
Yeah.
So they literally like as they're pulling it out, Christian Bale like he sees the Hollander guy and he goes off to talk to the Hollander guy, right?
Right.
So they pull it out and he doesn't even fucking flinch. They pull the bullet out and he's just like that. And then he looks around, he notices there's pictures of horses everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the hell kind of doctor are you? And he goes, well, let's just say it's nice to actually have a conversation with my patient for once.
Ooh, that's funny.
And then the guy smiles and he even like kind of like fuck, because he's in a lot of pain.
Yeah. So
Bale walks up to the Mr. Hollander guy, right? And he tells him that hey, Ben Wade's in town, right? Because he's like, the Hollander's like, what's going on? Where'd you just come from? He's like, oh, Ben Wade's in town. And he's like, Hollander, I need to talk to you about burning my barn last night. He's like, you had no right to do that, And the Hollander guy tells him like, whatever, I'm not worried about you. I'm trying to go get Wade. And he goes, no, I'm going to talk to you. And then right then, the Hollander guy's number 2 who burned his farm and hit him earlier in the movie, he throws him down, right? Like, and knocks him down. And he's like, shut up, you old fucking rancher. And he tells him, he's like, he offers him like some pendant, like to try and bribe him. He's like, just give me till spring. He's like, I can turn the corner. Just give me till spring, please. Like, this'll get my family through. And besides, you cut off the water that comes through to our my farm anyway.
They're fucking with him hard.
They're fucking with him. You know what I mean? They're to get like a railroad in.
Oh, is that what they're doing?
That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get a railroad in, and his house is in the way. And so they cut off his water. They're doing all these things to fuck him over.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So very Blazing Saddles.
Very Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
So he tells him, he's like, Dan, the railroad's coming, and there's nothing you can do about it. You know, you need to just move on. You know?
Was he offered any money?
No.
No. Oh, you just gotta leave. Ooh,
Yeah.
That's rough.
So they leave him there. Bale, he walks away pissed, and then he goes to his horse and he grabs his gun, and then he goes into the bar where he thinks Hollander is, and he's like, Hollander! He's yelling like he's about to shoot him, and then he looks up and he sees Wade. And Russell Crowe kind of sees him like, the fuck are you doing in here?
Yeah.
And he puts his hat on slowly, and he walks down some stairs, and he's just kind of eyeing each other. And then he goes, hey, did you get your horses back? You know, and he's like, I did, you know, but I lost a lot of my cattle. And he goes, oh, okay. And then he throws him some cash, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, that all right? And then the guy's still looking at him, like Bale's still looking at him with his gun cocked, like kind of pissed.
Yeah.
And then Russell Crowe goes, okay, Dan, how much do you make a day? And then he goes, like $2. And he goes, ding, ding, here you go, $2. Now you don't have to do anything for the day, right? And then the guy goes, and then Bale goes, you wasted my boy's time too. And then the Russell Crowe character smiles, and he goes, okay, ding, ding. And he throws the 2 more at him, and he goes, any more money you want from me, Dan? And he goes, how about another $5? And he goes, why would I give you $5? He goes, for making me nervous. You know, so now they're just eyeing each other, right?
Yeah.
And then right then they go, hands up, Wade, and everybody busts in. Like all the police and all the marshals, they bust in. And then he's kind of looking at him like, you motherfucker, I got me caught up with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he puts his hands up slowly. And then they're all freaking out like, we got him, we got Ben Wade. Oh my God. They're all, you know, they're very happy.
Right.
You know, they're very happy that they got him. They're, oh my God, I can't believe we captured him. And then they start contemplating killing him right then. They're like, we should kill him right now, right? And then the old Pinkerton guy's like, no, don't kill him. If we kill him right now, everybody in this town will be dead before morning. We can't do that. And then right then the Butterfield guy's like, no, he will hang in a court of law for all his robberies. Every single one of them you will hang for, you know, and he's like, we're going to make sure he goes to, you know, contention, and he's going to stand in front of a judge, and he will hang, you know, by, you know, a judge by a jury of his peers, by a jury of his peers. Like, we're going to do this the right way.
Right.
He deserves that. Like, he's that bad of a criminal, and I want him to go down that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so he's like, we're going to round up a team. You know what I mean? So he starts telling everybody who's gonna be involved in this and the third. And then right then Dan goes, I'm going to join the team. And then they look at him like, why do we need you, rancher? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he says, I'll do it for $200. And the guy's like, why? And he's like, I was the best shot in my unit when I fought for the North.
Civil War.
In Civil War?
Yeah.
Now you know how he lost his leg.
That makes sense.
You see, it's all kind of coming together a little bit. And they say, okay, well, you know, we need all the manpower we can get. And and you can tell the dude's like, I don't care. He's like, he really wants to get Wade, the Butterfield guy, because he's robbed him 21 times.
Right.
He knows a number. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, I fucking hate this guy. You know?
Guy, for some reason, just one person he attacks.
He knows where to get him.
Yeah. He knows
You know?
the guy who's weak. The guy named Butterfield. Doesn't have a strong constitution, apparently.
So they're taking him outside.
Yeah.
And right then his number two is like riding by on a horse, and he yells, this town's gonna burn! And he kills 2 people.
Just random people?
And he keeps riding, right?
Damn.
And then right then they're all like, we gotta mount up. Let's mount up now, right? And Pinkerton's like, let's get him out of here. So they put him in a stagecoach, and they say, Dan, we're gonna meet back at your house. I got an idea, right? So they tell Dan like to go back to his place. They all meet up, and they're gonna do a bait and switch.
Okay.
Because they know the Charlie guy, the number 2, is going to follow him wherever they go. They're not going to let him go. So they start riding with Russell Crowe in the stagecoach to dance. Mm-hmm. When it gets to dance, they act like it breaks down.
Okay.
So then Dan and another guy walk out, like Dan and these 2 other guys walk out, right? Mm-hmm. To like act like they're going to fix the coach. You can see the number 2 watching from like a mile or so away. You can just see, like, you can see him just on a hill, like he's just on his horse, like watching.
Yeah.
And then they come out, and then Russell Crowe's like looking at him like, this shit's not going to work. Like, your plan's not going to work. And they're like, shut up. And then what they do is they, you know, like, while they're fixing the horse, they slowly get him out, put the other guy in. You know what I mean? And then they fix it up. They let it go off, and then they start walking back. Like, you know what I mean? To make it look like nothing happened. And then the number 2 falls for it. He fucking rides off and starts following the buggy.
Oh, wow.
Okay? So
Or
they go into Dan's house.
Yeah.
Okay? Dan's wife is obviously pissed.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, why the hell did you bring this fucking killer in my house?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he doesn't ask his wife for a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Well, but it's the 1800s.
1800s, man. He's doing the best he can. He's trying. At least he's trying.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, he's trying, bro. So they let Crow eat at the table, right? Like he's eating at the dinner table. He's in handcuffs, and he's scarfing. He's just scarfing food down.
Right.
And the little son's like, hey, maybe, I think, aren't we supposed to wait for Grace? And then the mother's like, oh, it's fine. We don't need to wait for Grace. And then he's like, the little kid's like, yeah, but don't we need to have Grace even for murderers? And then like Russell Crowe like kind of laughs.
Damn.
And the dad's like, right, even for murderers need grace, right? The Christian Bale character. So they say a nice grace. And then the Russell Crowe character goes, now old Byron here, he's into murder too, aren't you, Byron? And then the Byron guy's like, shut up, Wade. And he's like, no, I've seen Byron kill women, children, Apache, minors, all kinds of people, haven't you, Byron? I've seen you kill them all. And then Byron's cleaning the shotgun. And he's like, not a soul lost wasn't deserved. He's just like, fuck you, like not giving him any pay, like fuck you, man. You know?
Okay, so he's the badass one. He sounds cool as shit.
He's badass, motherfucker. Pinkerton's a bad dude. I think Pinkerton.
Yep.
That's how you know, like little girly name. So they right then after he says every man deserves what he got, the Russell Crowe goes, he says a cool line about how, like, even in Proverbs, he says like another Proverbs line about, only the Lord knows the heart, and something like he says a cool line. And then he looks at the wife and like winks at her.
Oh,
and then she's like, oh shit.
Oh God. Oh no. Yeah.
And then he's trying to eat his steak, but he can't. They didn't cut it for him, and so Russell, the Christian Bale character, comes over and it's this weird scene of him cutting his steak for him.
Yeah.
And then while he's doing it, he's kind of like talking shit to him and like, how'd you get that hitch in your step? And then right then the little son can't take it. He's like, my dad's a sharpshooter and he's this, that, and he like starts bragging for him, right?
Yeah.
And the Russell Crowe character kind of just lets his son get it out of him. Like you tell, he's just kind of eyeing the family. He's just kind of messing with it. It's one of those scenes where he's dialogue scene where he's kind of just messing with them and trying to figure it out.
Don't fuck his wife, Russell.
And then right then you hear the doctor shooting outside. Mm-hmm. They all get up and run outside. And then they're like, what are you shooting at? He's like, I think I saw something in the bushes. And they're shooting, and then they realize that it was nothing. But during all that commotion, Russell Crowe stole a fork, hid it in his jacket. And then while everybody's outside, he starts hitting on the wife. He's asking her like if she's ever been to San Francisco. And she's like, no. And she's like, I don't mind. I don't want to talk to you. And he's like, oh, okay. Like, I'm just saying, I know a lot of girls in San Francisco with beautiful green eyes. And then she's like looking at him, and he's like, beautiful, just like yours. The kind of eyes that change color like the ocean. And then she's like, what? And then right then Dan walks in, he's like, Alice. And she kind of snaps too. And then she goes up to him and she's like, he's not at all like what I expected. You know what I mean? Like, she's,
oh God, she's good. I just like Christian Bale. So, oh man, your wife is going to get fucked, Christian Bale.
So right then she's telling him like, Dan, I don't think you should do this. And then he's like, but honey, if I don't do this, we're not gonna make it 6 days. We need this money, we need this food.
Yeah.
And then she's like, but he's a killer. She's like, don't worry about that. He's like, and if he is a killer, so it's about time somebody brought him to justice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, but we need this money. It's $200. And once we get it, everything will be okay. Because it'll be green soon and the cows will eat and they'll get fat and we'll have water. And I promise you, it'll be okay. And she's like, I don't know. I just don't think you should do this, Dan. And he's like, if I don't go, we're going to have to pack up and leave. Like he starts yelling at her. And then he's like, I'm tired of the way the boys look at me. Like I'm not a man. And I'm tired of the way you don't look at me. He's like, and I'm tired for waiting. He's like, I'm tired of waiting for God to do me a favor. It's like, I'm tired of it. He's like, because he ain't listening. And then he cocks his gun, and then they're like, we're leaving. And then they all pack up to leave. And then the son runs up, and he's like, Dad, let me help. The Williams son. Mm-hmm. He's like, I can help. He's like, no, William, you're 14. I need you to stay here and take care of your mom and your sister. He's like, but I'm a better sharpshooter than any of these motherfuckers. He's like, I'm better than them. You know it, Dad. Let me come. I can help you. He's like, no, son. Stay here and take care of the family. And then he runs in the house. He's like, right?
Yeah, just angry.
So right then, Wade asks, he's like, so boys, where are we going? Right, because they put him up on a horse.
Right.
And then the Hollander guy's number 2, just starts talking shit to him. Just hits him. He's like, shut up.
And who is Hollander exactly?
Hollander's helps run the railroad.
Okay.
Mr. Butterfield's like a banker.
Yeah. I know that. So,
and Mr. Holland, the guy who runs the railroad.
Okay.
Like one of the guys of the railroad, like one of the railroad people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So Hollander's number 2 starts talking shit to Wade. And then, the old guy, the Pinkerton guy says, we're taking you to contention, putting you on the 310 to Yuma. That's where you're going to hang, Wade.
Finally.
Yeah,
we did it.
I knew you were waiting.
We got to the train. It only took 45 fucking minutes, but we got to the train.
So Bale says, Christian Bale says, he's like, I don't think you should have told him that, and then Pinkerton goes, he's like, I don't think you should have told him that, Pinkerton. You shouldn't have said that to him. And then Bale goes, oh, relax, friend. Russell Crowe goes, relax, friend. He's like, that's just in case, if we get split up, now I know where to find you guys. It's like, ooh, this guy is fucking evil, man.
Yeah, what are you doing? Giving information to someone who might kill you.
Yeah. So they cut back to the little boy, and he's coughing. He's having a cough fit, right?
Yeah.
The little son. And then the mom is giving him medicine, and then she puts her and the little brother to bed, him and the little brother to bed, and then she goes to bed. The older brother waits for him to fall asleep, grabs his gun, he sneaks out. He goes and he follows him. Okay? So they cut to, they find a place to rest for the night, right? On their way to Yuma. And Wade starts talking shit to Dan. He starts talking shit to him. And they talk about how if Alice was his wife, he'd treat her better and he'd get her pretty dresses and take her out to eat. And he was like, I bet Alice was a real pretty girl probably way before she married you. And then right then he can't take it. And the Bale guy runs up on him. He puts a gun in his mouth. He's like, I will cut you down right now. Say another fucking word. Say another fucking word. And then right then the Crow character goes, I like this side of you, Dan. Fits you. Right? Yeah. And then they're like, all right, Dan, get off of him. So Dan kind of walks away and he, gets off of him and he rolls over to sleep. And then it shows the sun setting up camp nearby, right?
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to and everybody is asleep. Shows everybody in the camp they're asleep. And it shows the Hollander guy, the Hollander's number 2 guy, right, and he's keeping watch. And he's got his gun on Wade and he's singing. And he's going, they're gonna hang me in the morning before the night is done. And he's looking at Crow. He's like, gonna hang me in the morning, never see the sun. Right? And then Crow kind of looks at him and he goes, would it be too much to ask you for a little peace and quiet? And he goes, Wade, if it wasn't for you, I'd be sleeping in my bed right now. So yeah, if I can't sleep, you can't sleep. They're gonna hang me in the morning before the night is done. And Crow's just kind of looking at him and nods. He's like, hang me in the morning, never see the sun. And he leans back. Then it kind of goes quiet, goes black. The next scene, it comes back up, shows the camera of everybody still sleeping. But you hear this sound. It shows everybody sleeping, but you hear like...
Oh, God, he's stabbing people with a fork.
And then it cuts up to him, and he's on top of the guy who was singing.
Yeah.
Like, the guy who was talking all that shit, and he's stabbing him just a million times with the fork. And then by the time everybody comes to it, realizes, and they get him off, and Dan throws him off, and he's dead. They look at him, he's just blood, completely done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the Pinkerton guy starts beating the shit out of Russell Crowe. Just fucking him up with a gun. Poof, 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 like to the point where his face is just a fucking bloody pulp. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he just beats him, and they're like, all right, that's enough. That's enough, Pinkerton, enough. And then they finally get him off. And then Russell Crowe spits. And he laughs a little bit. And he goes, gonna hang me in the morning. And he spits again. I never see the sun. And he starts laughing. And it fades to black.
Man, this is an intense-ass movie.
Dude.
The fuck?
Yo,
I don't know what's happening at any turn. I can't.
I know you didn't see that coming.
I can't see where this is going at all.
So Crow's gang finally catch up to the fake buggy.
Right.
Because the fake buggy, it shows them, and they're right outside of town. They're almost close to a town. Right then the sniper, the Apache sniper, kills the driver.
Yeah.
Buggy stops. The crew rolls up on the buggy. You see number 2, he comes up on it, and he goes, don't worry, boss. I'm going to get you out there in 1 second. And then right then the guy in the cab, he tries to shoot him in the head, but he misses, and he gets his ear. And then right then he's like, oh, the number 2, he realizes what's going on, and he kind of dodges, and then he finds a way to sneak around, and he gets the gun from out of him, right? And then the crew runs up, and they're about to kill him, and he's like, wait. And everybody's like, pulls the guns, and they're about to kill the guy, and he goes, and then he gasolines the thing, and he sets it on fire.
With him inside of it?
And the guy's like, no, please let me out. Please let me out. And he comes up to him calmly, and he goes, where'd they take him? And the guy's like, please let me out. I don't know where they took him. And he goes, mister, tell me where they took him right now, or you will burn. And the guy's like, contention! They're putting him on the 310 to Yuma! And then he turns around, he's like, boys, let's ride! And then, of course, he's like, sir, please! And you just hear him screaming, ah! And then as he's screaming, it cuts to the guys, and they're like mounting up to ride. And the other guy comes up to the number 2, and he goes, contention is 80 miles the other way. And the guy number 2 kind of turns like, what? And he goes, look, it's his fault he got caught. He knows the rules. And then the number 2 is like, do you think you could run this outfit a little better? And then the guy goes, maybe. And then he turns around and he knocks him the fuck out. And he pulls a gun on him and he goes, you forgot what he done for us.
Damn, he is ride or die.
And then also during that, the guy has stopped screaming.
Yeah, because he's dead.
And you just hear the fire, right? And then he goes, we're going to contention. And then it cuts to, right? Like a phase to black.
Yeah.
Bro, the number 2 is my favorite dude in the whole movie.
Yeah.
I love him. He is he's just so like, bro.
Yeah, he's
this is my guy.
Yeah.
Ride or die.
That's nuts. Also, the guy getting burned alive. At that point, you have to know. You're going to die regardless.
Die with it.
Yeah.
Die. Why ain't you? That's what Sam said. Why with a pussy? Why didn't you just die with it? But I was like, how you burning alive? Who knows?
Yeah. But no, he should have definitely died with it.
At least it gives you something to die with.
Yeah, right? You have like a last stand type moment.
Yeah, man. Fuck this guy.
You die a man.
And they don't get to know where he is.
No.
Now they know.
Yeah, now they know he's in contention, which is a great name for a
jail.
town.
Yo, God,
contention.
Yeah, contention. Yeah, name for a town. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put him on the 310 to Yuma.
Yeah.
You know? So it cuts back to Bale, and he's looking through binoculars, and he can now see in the distance the crew coming.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, they caught up to the buggy. They know. So they start debating what to do, and they start like, oh, we need to take a shortcut. And they're like, oh, we'll have to go through Apache land if we take this shortcut. And then that's when Crow's like, don't fuck around with them. He's like, he gets serious. He's like, don't.
Yeah,
they'll kill you.
Are crazy.
It's like, they're going to kill you. They'll kill every one of you. They'll scalp you. They'll take your heads. They'll kill me too. Don't go through Apache land. But they're like, all right, we'll take our chances. And they ride on. You know what I mean? So they cut through.
Oh, my God.
So Bale asks him, he's like, hey, why'd you kill him? Why not me or Butterfield or Pinkerton? And he goes, I took him because he took my horse, because he had this beautiful black horse that the guy was riding.
Yeah.
And he goes, and I didn't like him. He was like, he told me he burned your barn down, Dan. He's like, didn't you not like him either? And he goes, yeah, but wishing him dead and killing him are 2 different things. You know? And then he's like looking at him. And he goes, hey, Wade, the Pinkerton guy. He's like, stop talking to Dan. You want to talk to somebody, you talk to me. He's like, I don't want to talk to you, Byron. He's like, why? Because I got a gun? He's like, no, because you ain't interesting.
Yeah, the one-legged dude is definitely very interesting.
Yeah. He goes, Byron, he's like, Byron's just like one song with one note. He's like, you ever read any other book besides the Bible your whole life, Byron? He's like, never needed to. You know? And then he's like, oh. He's like, well, he tells Dan, he says, I know a little something about Byron you don't know. He said, I've seen him kill 32 men and women. You know, 32 women and children.
Jesus.
Apache. Mowed them down like it was nothing. You know? And then the guy said, he was like, Pinkerton's like, I was just doing my job. And he's like, I was just doing my job. And he's like, the Lord, like, said something about how the Lord will, you know, keep me at the right in the end or whatever.
Yeah, you know how it is. If you kill Apache, the Lord's
he goes, oh, that's right. But I guess, he's like, that's right. Byron killed all of them, but I guess he figured Jesus wouldn't mind. Because, you know, Jesus hate the Apache.
All right, Russell Crowe, Kaka, we're on the same level. We're on the same level. Get the fuck out of here with your bullshit, Byron.
Right? And then Pinkerton goes, well, you keep talking. You keep talking straight to hell, Wade. And then he
Where
goes,
you'll also be.
Yeah. And he goes, the day I die, he's like, I'll be freed from hell. That's what he says to Pinkerton, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes, you're just from the rancid womb of a whore, Wade. And then Wade kind of looks at him. And then he, with his handcuffs, he jumps off his horse and like grabs Pinkerton and grabs him down, pulls him off his horse, right? Gets his shotgun out of his hand and then pulls it on everybody. He's like, everybody, guns down, guns down. You know, and then they're all looking at him like, fuck.
Damn.
And he's like, he pulled it on him real quick and he's looking at him. And then right then everybody puts their guns down and then he starts kicking Pinkerton. He's like, Byron, poof, he kicks him. He's like, I always liked you, poof, but you never knew when to keep your mouth shut. Poof. And then he picks him up and then Pinkerton's kind of coughing and he goes, even bad men love their mama. And then he throws him off the mountain. They're on like a cliff. Just flings him.
What the fuck?
And he goes, all right, all you. He's like, I'm going to be needing them horses. And then right then, William, the son, goes, put the gun down, Wade, and pulls it like that. And he's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Where did you come from?
Jesus Christ, I just pulled off the most badass shit.
Yeah.
And now I don't get to win?
You know? Yeah. And then he goes, you ain't going to shoot. He's like, oh, put that gun down, boy. I don't think you're going to shoot a man that you admire in the back, are you? And then right then he shoots like right off to his ear.
Yeah.
Like, poof. And then Crow goes, fuck.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, shit. And then he goes, the Bale guy goes, son, you think you can keep your sights on him if I come down there and grab his weapon? And he goes, I'm doing a damn sight better than you were, Dad.
That's fair.
You know?
That's fair.
And then he comes down and they fucking secure him and they like the music starts kind of fades out and they get him back. Like they get him back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my
the
God.
scene.
They after he stabbed the dude with a fork that they didn't know he had, they probably should have stopped talking shit.
He's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah. Clearly just like
Stop talking to him.
Yeah.
He's very charming.
Also, keep a gun on him.
Keep a gun on him.
What are you doing? Jesus. This is why your stagecoach gets robbed, Butterfield. Clearly, you don't know how to protect shit.
Yeah, you guys have like lost sight of him like too much.
Yeah, and then you picked a guy who wouldn't take the information to the grave with him on where you're going. God damn, you deserve what's happening to you guys.
So the next scene, they're at another campsite now, right? Another night, and Crow's telling the young William kid about Dodge City, a city like Dodge City, and about how, you'll find, everything you want there, women that'll do things to you that you'll never forget, right? And he's just kind of looking at him like, and then he tells him about how he once robbed this train thing and blew it up after he robbed it and killed like all these prospectors in it. And then you can tell the little boy is just crazy impressed, right? Yeah. And then he goes, all right, I got to take a piss. And then Dan's kind of looking at him and he goes, I'm going to follow him, right? So he goes to take a piss. They're talking. Russell Crowe's like pissing. It's dark. He's pissing and he's telling him about how he doesn't like doing good deeds for people. Right. Because every time he does, then people warm up to him and he doesn't like that. He's like, I don't want people thinking like I love him or like him or anything. Yeah. And then he's right as he's saying this, he's like, yeah, I hate doing good deeds. And then he hears something and then it cuts back to Dan and Dan like turns around and Russell Crowe's gone. He's gone. And then now Bale's like, where the fuck is he? And then right then,
Apache.
He takes Dan down, poof, and then Dan's like, what the fuck? He's like, shh, Apache. Yep. And he's looking around, and then they're kind of quiet, and then Dan's kind of like, what the fuck? And he's got his gun, and then right then, poof, Bale gets shot in the stomach.
Oh,
yep.
God.
And then he's like, Will! He calls out, and his son comes grab him, and they come get him, and then they both kind of carry Christian Bale to like safety. Mm-hmm. And right then, Russell Crowe, in his handcuffs, he grabs his gun and grabs a knife, and then he runs off. And they're like, and then even though Bale shot, he's like, Wade, come back, Wade, right? And then he runs off, right? And so right then, now you see the Indians and they're shooting at him, right? You see the guys and they're trying to kill. They're still shooting at him, trying to kill. There's three of them. They're shooting at him. And then right then, you see Russell Crowe like he's sneaking up the mountain, and you see him coming through the side. And then right then, he pulls the gun on one. He like makes a little noise, and one looks to the left. The Indians shoots it in the head, and the other one like tries to shoot him. He just slices its throat before he even turns, like that. You know what I mean? Just real quick.
Oh God!
So then it cuts, like the scene cuts to black, and then he comes back, and he's coming back down the mountain.
That's
with
the
all
hardest
stuff.
thing for me to watch.
Slice throats.
Yeah,
throat. And it's a lot of throat shit in this one. 3 things so far. Throats that have killed people. So he's coming back down the mountain now, right? And he's got all their guns, and he's telling them how, like I told you guys not to come this way.
That's impressive. Apache are like warriors, so they kill them.
Russell Crowe's the baddest dude.
Yeah,
in the world in this movie. He's a bad motherfucker, and he's like, I told you guys not to come down. And then he's like, well, you can run off now and then wait, whatever. And he goes, I need the keys to those handcuffs, Dan. And then Dan, the Bale character, pulls out the handcuff keys, and then he throws them as far as he can. Like a last, like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And then, like, Crowe looks at him, and then he looks down, and then he stomps his face. Poof, knocks him out cold. And, like, it's, like, from the camera angle, so it looks like he stomps the camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like one of those shots?
Yeah.
And then he's out cold. So when he comes to, they tell him, he's like, where is he? It's like daytime now. He's like, where is he? And they're like, oh, he took off. He took the horses. He took everything. And then they're like, all right, well, I guess we got to go after him. And then the Mr. Butterfield's guy's like, we're going to go after him? And then he's like, well, I don't get the reward for taking him halfway to the train, do I? And Butterfield's like, well, yeah. You kind of like, yeah, you're right.
Even though you're shot in the stomach, you still want to keep going.
Oh, yeah.
That's dope.
Bad motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
So Crowe shows up, and in Apache country, it shows him like walking through this big tunnel like into Apache land, and like shows all these Indians doing work, and then all these Chinese people working on the railroad, right?
Right.
Like on this, so, and then we see they cut to like the inside of the guys who are like managing this railroad, and they're like bad white dudes, and it's Luke Wilson, Owen Wilson's brother.
Really?
Yeah.
Luke Wilson of Wes Anderson fame.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he says he's talking about how they need niggers to work on the train to show these Chinese people how to work. They don't know how to work, so they need niggers. True, I can see them saying that.
That makes sense. Are they paying the Chinese?
No, slavery. But he says show them how to work hard.
Okay,
that's what they're saying. And then he's talking to this other old man. They're clearly just bad guys. And then they notice Wade riding in with all these horses, right? Because he has like 5 horses with him. You know, he's like, who's this guy? And they're like, oh, that's Wade. And then they kind of freak out, and then they get their guns, and then they immediately they kill a woman in the process of trying to shoot him, and they get him cornered.
Just
you know
like
what
Chinese
I mean?
woman?
Yeah.
Oof.
Just like, but they got him now. Because Wade was trying to get his handcuffs. He's talking to a Chinese woman trying to get his handcuffs off.
Yeah.
And they kill her, like trying to kill him. But they now they got him, right?
Yeah.
So.
God, there's so much death.
Oh, dude. We're just, oh my God, bro. We haven't even got to the end yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a Western. You know how Western
Oh,
go.
I know.
So.
Not really, but I know.
But you can guess.
Yeah.
So Dan and friends, they walk up to Apache country, and they notice their horses, and they turn and they see Wade, and Wade's tied up, right? And then the Luke Wilson character is electrocuting him, torturing him alive.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? Just like electrocuting him hardcore. And then Mr. Butterfield, he recognizes them. He knows them, like, oh, they're railroad people. So he goes up to talk to him, and he's like, hey, that's my prisoner. Can you guys let him go? They're like, oh, no, this has been Wade. He killed the old guy's like, he killed my brother in Abilene. This guy's no prisoner. He's he's just a murderer. You know what I mean? And then right then, like he's tied up, and Russell Crowe goes, he's like, well, I remember your brother being a 2-timing card shark. He spits. He's like, or maybe he was just or maybe that's the wrong asshole, and I'm just thinking of some other asshole that I killed.
Yo, Crow is badass as fuck.
And then right then they electrocute him like crazy.
Yeah.
Like crazy, right? And then the doctor is watching, and he starts feeling bad, like you can tell he can handle it. And then he runs up and he goes, hey, stop, this is immoral. You can't do this to a human. This isn't how you treat human beings, right? And then they stop electrocuting him, and they're like, he ain't no human. This is fucking Ben Wade. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And then right then Russell Crowe,
that's fun. That's a funny thing to say when there's a bunch of slaves around you.
I know that to notice that, but not the slavery, all the slavery that's around you.
That's a really, really funny thing to say.
Everyone's just trying their best.
Are they? Are they trying their best?
Well, Dan goes, hey, I need that man. There's a reward in it. I need that money. And then the guy goes, well, Luke Wilson goes, well, is it worth your life? And then Dan's like, well, can we at least get our horses back? And then the old guy's like, that's fine. You can take your horses. And then right then the doctor's like, fuck this. And he takes a shovel and fucking hits Luke Wilson in the face. And then Russell Crowe sees the opportunity, and he punches another guy. And then they all just start fighting. And then the Russell Crowe guy grabs some dynamite, and they run off, and they grab on their horses, and they take off.
With Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe's on the horse. They're all making an escape, because he's like, well, I'm either gonna die here or run off with these guys. Might as well run with these guys. You know what I mean? They're saving me now, pretty much.
Right. Yeah. So it's a weird relationship that they all have now.
Westerns, bro.
Yeah.
So I like when the bad guy and the good, at a certain point it kind of fades.
Yeah. It kind of like, well, you got to survive Apache territory, and now there's these crazy white dudes.
So who is a bad guy?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The bad guy. Well, clearly Russell Crowe's a bad guy.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He threw a guy off a mountain.
Yeah, he murders people.
So they're all running, and they're riding, and they're shooting. Right, they're shooting their way out, and they get to the tunnel.
Just killing Chinese people.
No, they're shooting back at the guys trying to chase them. And then right then the doctor goes, "Oh my God, I can't believe I hit that guy with the shovel." He's like bragging, they're all smiling at him, and then he gets shot in the back. Right when he says that, you know what I mean? And then right then Dan notices that Russell Crowe's got the dynamite, and then he's like, throw it. And so he throws it back in the tunnel, and then he shoots it, and it blows up and knocks the tunnel down.
Yeah.
So then they're able to get away. So they set the doctor down, and they're like, and he's like bleeding out, and they're like, Doc, you okay? Doc. And he's like, did we get away? Did we get away from him? And then Christian Bale's like, yeah, we did, Doc, because of you. He's like, and then he dies.
Yeah.
That's just like that.
See? That's a good death.
I don't like no other lines, just that.
That's a good death.
Really good, it was clean.
Not like, oh, save me, I'm on fire, pussy. Shut up.
This doctor had nothing to do with this, and he went out like a man.
Yeah.
He had nothing to do with any of this shit.
Yeah, nothing to do. Saved a life.
Yeah. So the doctor dies, they look over, they can see contention. They're there. All right.
Okay.
So they ride into town, they check into a hotel, and they enter through the back way, right? And as they do, they tell William, like the Christian Bale the character, the dad looks at William and he goes, son, I want you to go keep watch and let me know if you see any of his gang, you see anything, make some noise, come get us.
Right.
And the son's like, will do, Paul. And then he goes, William. And the son looks back and he goes, like he nods like he's proud, and the son's like, smiles, and then it cuts, no bullshit, and then it shows Russell Crowe and he goes, oh. I'm not kidding. They put that in the movie. It was the funniest part, Russell Crowe just going, oh, I fucking hate these guys.
Yeah, these guys are fucking lame.
Yeah.
God, I'm never gonna have kids. That's
what he's thinking.
Yeah.
So Wade's number 2. He comes up to the Apache, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's with the gang, right? And he notices that Luke Wilson has Wade's gun. It's like a black gun with a cross on it. And he's like, he notices the gun. He goes, hey man, you know Ben Wade? And then he says, yeah, he killed my brother. And then number 2 goes, oh, well, your brother must be famous then. It's just like the way he says it, like,
Jesus.
You know what I mean?
Number 2 with the lines,
bro, this nigga loves him,
lines.
bro.
Yeah,
So,
does he pull them out from his back pocket? Is that what he's doing? Is he reading? Okay, I'm using this one.
so he keeps looking at him and he goes, you boys a posse?
Mm-hmm.
And then within a second, he pulls out 2 guns and kills them all. And he goes, I fucking hate posses. And he's like, let's go, boys. And then they ride off into contention. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So back in the room, Crow is trying to bribe his way out. Russell Crowe's trying to get his way out, and he's trying to offer Dan all this money to let him go. And then Dan's like, oh, you seem nervous, Wade. You don't think your crew is coming to get you? And then he goes, sure as God's vengeance, they're coming. You better know that. He's like, I'm just trying to make things easy for you guys. Like, you know, that you can tell, like, he changes the mood in the room immediately. They're like, I'm not trying to bribe for me.
I'm trying to bribe for you.
So we can all just leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're coming, you know?
Yeah.
And then he tells him, he's like, how do you think Alice would feel about this? He's like, you can go home and see your wife, $1,000 richer, you know? He's like, you don't think that'd be better life for you guys? And he's like, and then right then he's like, well, how you gonna pay me the money? And then he cuts him off cash. He's like, that's how I'm gonna pay you the money. Cash, right now, $1,000. He's like, I know exactly where it's at, you can go grab it. And then he's like, well, how dumb do you think I am?
Yeah, I wouldn't
Wade?
trust that.
He goes, how dumb do you think I am, Wade? He goes, even if I let you go, he said, what am I supposed to say? Oh, he got away and now I'm a rich man all of a sudden? He's like, I ain't like you. You know what I mean? Like, I got some goddamn sense and some principle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll stay poor.
And then he goes, man, and then Wade looks at him and goes, man, after all this, Dan, you mean to tell me and you, we still ain't friends? And then he looks at him, he goes, nope. And then he puts his hand over his head and he goes, well, I'll tell you what, 5 minutes to 3, we sure as hell will be. And then it shows the clock, right?
Yeah.
And he starts singing, gonna hang me in the morning. Like Russell Crowe singing. Yeah. And then the clock just starts ticking. And like it kind of like the camera lets you know, like it fades out and lets you know like time is like passing now. Like, all right, bro, they're coming.
Yeah.
And 5 minutes to 3?
3:10.
We all know the time.
5 minutes to 3, yeah. So 2:55, this shit's gonna go down.
This shit's gonna go down, dog.
Yeah.
So Mr. Butterfield comes back and he comes back with the marshal, right, and some help. And he comes and he goes, and then Crow looks at him and goes, you boys taking me to the train? And then the guy goes, Wade, we got law and order in this town just like any other town. And he goes, how much Mr. Butterfield paying you? And Butterfield's like, don't worry about it. We're going to get you you're going to hang tomorrow, Wade. That's all you need to know. You can tell Butterfield, I just want to get you. I fucking hate you. You know what I mean? And then you see the gang, they ride into town. They're like 7 deep and they're yelling, yeah, and they're loud. They're letting you know they're there, right? And then they're looking in all the hotels and they're looking in everything. And then they lock the marshal and everybody, they lock the hotel room and they lock it up and they're looking out, right? And so the number 2, he's trying to figure out where he is. And then right then he sees a bartender that's in the hotel and the bartender kind of like does like that, like peeks out the window and looks at the number 2 and like points up. Yeah. And the number 2 smiles and then he looks up and he goes, hey, boss, you in there? You know, and then Russell Crowe like looks at the guy, everybody in the room, and he goes, "What you want me to tell him?" You know, and then Dan goes, "Tell him you're gonna write him letters from Yuma." And then he goes, "Okay," and he leans out the window, and he goes, "Charlie, boys," he goes, "How you got? You doing all right up there, boss?" And he goes, "Well, why don't you boys go down to the salon and get yourself a drink? Because I'm sitting up here with my 4 new friends." And then they go, "Shut up. Stop talking right there," because he let them know immediately how many are in the room. Exactly, you know what I mean? Like, this dude's like, don't let him talk, bro. He's good at what he does.
What are you doing? Why do you keep talking to him? Have you not looked? He stabbed a man with a fork, and he threw a man off a cliff.
By himself. You guys had him outnumbered the whole time.
Yes, in shackles.
Oh, he's been handcuffed this whole time.
And you're still talking to him and letting him talk? What? What?
So...
It's also why it'd be great to be a criminal in the Wild Wild West, because there was no common sense. Clearly, that was lacking out there.
Right. So Charlie throws him his black hat.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Oh, thank you, Charlie." And he puts his hat on. And then the boys, they kind of back off. And he goes and he sits back down. And then Charlie looks at the town and he goes, "Listen up. They got Ben Wade up there. That's Ben Wade. Now the railroad intends to put him on the 310 to Yuma and hang him. He's like, we will give any man $200 cash if you shoot anyone trying to do such thing."
God.
200 cash dollars. He throws it down to any man that shoots anyone trying to put Ben Wade on that train. And so, of course, now you see people going, oh, I'll do it. He goes, well, to get the cash, he grabs it. You got to shoot him first. And you hear everybody start cocking their guns. You know what I mean? The whole town. Yeah. Because now the whole town's like, oh, shit, $200? The fuck? You know what I'm saying?
This shit is wild.
So now you see now everyone in the room, the hotel room, they're freaking out. All the marshals, they're like, oh, we didn't sign up for this. Whoa. And they start panicking. They're like, yo, we can't do this, man. We can't do this. And the Butterfield's like, no, you guys can't quit. No, you can't do this. And they're like, hey, we got to go lay down our guns. We're not doing this. And then the Butterfield's like, I'll double your money, please. Right then. And then Crow, like they all leave the room. And then Crow keeps talking shit to Dan about it. He's like, hey, Dan, everyone's going to walk out on you. It's like the marshals just walked out. Butterfield's going to walk out. Just give up, man. You can still get out of this. Dan's just kind of looking at him, not saying nothing. So right then the marshals and all all his crew, they go out and they put their guns down. And right as they put their guns down, the Wade's crew kills them all. Kills all 8 of them. Just like that. And then the number 2 goes, any more up there, boss? And then he looks at Dan and he goes, 1. And he goes, okay. And so they keep waiting, like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, we'll get him out. You know, we'll smoke him.
Wait, did Butterfield die with the marshals?
No, Butterfield's still alive too, but
Okay.
he's not worried about Butterfield.
Okay.
He's like, fucking Butterfield. So he tells William, he's like, hey, they're going to kill you both. He's like, you and your father, you guys are going to be dead. And then Will, the son, like, well, why don't you call him off? And then Russell Crowe's like, why would I do that? He's like, because you ain't all bad. And he laughs and he goes, son, I am all bad. He goes, well, you helped us in the tunnels. He said, if I'd had a gun, I'd have killed you in those tunnels. And he goes, but what about, he's like, what? But you've been helping us. You're a good guy. I know it. He goes, son, to lead an outfit like that, I got to be a rotten motherfucker. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Yeah, you're 14, kid.
You're seeing, I know what you think you see, but you're not seeing it. The whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm a person. There's no good or bad. You know what I mean? So they're telling him that they gotta that they should quit, and then the Butterfield's like, I can't do this. He's like, I think I'm gonna quit, and he tells him, he goes, you should go home too, Dan. You should go home too, Dan. It's not worth it. And the son's like, what do you think, Paul? Should we leave? And he goes, if we leave, what did Doc Potter die for? It's like he died for something. And then the Butterfield goes, well, Dan, I'll pay you $200 right now to walk away. Just walk away. We all can walk away from this. And then he looks at him and he goes, that's what the government gave me for my leg. $198.32 exactly. And after all these years, I realized they weren't paying me to walk away. They were paying me so they could walk away. And then the Butterfield guy looks at him and he goes, I'm going to take him to the train. He goes, but he said, you are going to get Hollander off my land. You're going to make sure my water flows. When you see my wife, you're going to hand her $1,000 in cash. And you're going to make sure my family's taken care of. And then Hollander's like, the Butterfield guy's like, you got it. If you can get him on that train, it's yours. You know what I mean? Ooh. Then he tells William to leave with Butterfield. And he's like, I can't leave with him, Paul. He's like, yes, you can. You got to leave, son. He's like, you're going to be a fine young man. You're going to take care of your mother and your brother. And he's like, I'm going to be a day's ride behind you. And if not, you got this, Will. I promise. You can do this. You can be a man, And he's like, but I love you, Paul, And then him and Butterfield leave. Right?
This is intense as shit.
You know what's about to happen. So they're sitting in the room quietly, right?
Yeah.
You hear that clock ticking, right? And Crow is drawing something. You can't see what he's drawing, but he's drawing.
What time is it at, by the way? Do you know?
It's close to 3. We're getting there. We're getting probably like 2:50-ish. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So he asked him, I asked him if he read, actually, we're right on 2:55. So he asked him if he reads the Bible, and he goes, Russell Crowe goes, you read the Bible, Dan? And Dan looks at him, he goes, a little bit. And then Russell Crowe goes, I read it once. I was 8 years old. He's like, my father just died, and my mother took me to the train station. And she gave me the Bible, and she said, read this. I'll be right back. I'm going to go buy a ticket. He said, and I read that book cover to cover. And she never came back. It took me 3 days. And then right then you hear, dung, dung, dung. It's 3 o'clock. They get up. They're like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, here we go. He walks him out. He's got the gun on him. And then he looks at him. He goes, it's a half a mile to the station, Dan. That's what Crow says. And he opens the door. And then he looks at him. And then Christian Bale looks at him. He's like, well, I guess we're walking then. And then right then they just start getting shot at. And then they make a run for it and they get to like a first like little stop and they're hiding. And then they hear some more shots and then he looks down and then right in his fake foot there was a huge bullet hole already. And then Russell Crowe's like, you lucky son of a bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like any other dude would have already been done right in the beginning. But you're like, okay. You know, so they keep running and right then Dan's picking people off kind of one by one and they're going.
This is intense.
Oh, yeah. So they're running and they're crawling, they're making their way across town, and they're getting shot at like crazy. Like
from everyone.
Like fucking everywhere, from every single place. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then so they get into a corner and then Crow goes, please explain to me what, you know, your next portion of the plan is, Dan. You know? And then Dan starts shooting people down again, just because he was a marksman for the North. So he's fucking capping motherfuckers, right? And then the number 2 is yelling. He's like, because people keep shooting at them. He's like, hey, hey, hey. Not the guy in the black hat, because people keep almost hitting Russell Crowe. And he's like, hey, and then he eventually starts killing the town people himself. But he's like, you stupid fucking shits. And because they keep almost hitting Russell Crowe. Yeah. And then, of course, the Dan guy uses that little second they start running again.
Yeah, but the confusion, right? Using that confusion to his advantage.
Using the confusion to his advantage, they start running again. Mm-hmm. And then they keep like, so he takes them into like a barn. Like they get into a barn and then right then Russell Crowe goes, all right, that's enough. And then he stops and then Dan's like, come on. And he grabs him and he throws him off of him and he's like, all right, Dan, that's enough. There's nobody more to be a hero in front of, you know, your son's gone, everybody's gone. You know, this is it. We're done. You know, I'm walking out. And he goes, hey, Charlie, I'm coming out. And Charlie goes, okay, boss. And then he starts to walk out and then right then Dan tackles him. Poof, and takes him to the ground. He's like, you're not going to the train. And then he fucking flips him off and he starts beating the shit out of him, right? And choking him out. And he's like, you know, what are you doing? You're not a hero. You know what I mean? And then right then he tells him, he's like, I ain't trying to be no hero. He's like, I ain't never been a hero, Wade. He's like, my son. He's like, he said, when I was fighting in the North, he's like, I got injured during retreat. He's like, we were retreating and one of my own men shot me in the leg. And that's how I lost it. He's like, you try telling your sons that and them looking at you like you're not a hero anymore. You know? And then Crow kind of looks at him and stops choking him. And he kind of like, fuck. And then you hear Charlie going, boss, boss, boss. Like you say that from outside. And then he helps him up and he goes, okay, Dan, okay. And then they start running again. Woo! You know what I mean? And so they start running again. And now the number 2 is like,
what's happening?
What's happening? Because he's shooting at Dan, but he's like, boss, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And they're going and they're running. And then he goes and like, his dad, Will hears like all the gunshots and he gets off of Mr. Butterfield's horse and he's like, he goes back for him again, you know? And he runs back up to the room and he goes into the room and he sees the drawing in the room was of his dad. Russell Crowe drew his dad. Yeah. And he goes, and then he throws it down and he runs down back across town to like try and catch up to them. And so they're going across rooftops, they're jumping over shit, they're just going and they're getting shot at. You still hear Charlie, boss, stop running with him. What are you doing? You know what I mean? He's shooting. And then they finally get all the way to the train station, and then right as they're about to run in, Charlie hits Dan right in the back. Gets him right in the back, you know what I mean? And they fall in the train station. Yeah. So then there's a guy in there already kind of hiding, you know what I mean? Right. And so the guy, Charlie, they ask him, they go, what time is it? And the guy on the train is like, it's 10 past 3. And then they go, where's the train? And then he's like, it's running late. And then Russell Crowe starts laughing. He's like, man, trains are always running late. You know, he says something like that, you know? Yeah. And so his number 2 starts sneaking under like all these cows to like get closer to the train to like try and kill him. And now the rest of the gang is also like creeping up outside to get good shots and good angles, you know? Yeah. And he says to Wade, like they're sitting there in the thing and they're breathing in this little train station and they're just kind of sitting there and it's quiet. And he goes, you know, Wade, I ain't stubborn. And then he goes, what? He goes, earlier, you said I was stubborn for keeping my family on a dying ranch. Because he said that earlier in the movie, like way earlier in the movie. Yeah. And he's like, I ain't stubborn. And he goes, my son, he has tuberculosis. And if we didn't keep him in a dry climate, he was going to die. And then the Wade guy goes, why are you telling me this? And he goes, I don't know. I needed you to know I ain't stubborn is all. And then they both kind of laugh. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like having a moment and Crow kind of looks at him like, you're all right, man.
Yeah, they've been having moments though.
They've been going back and forth.
Yeah.
You know? So
they both clearly respect each other.
They definitely, you can definitely see that. Mm-hmm. So right then, Crow looks at him, he goes, well, as long as we're making confessions, I've been to Yuma before, Dan. And then Dan kind of goes, like looks at him like, what? And he goes, I've been twice, escaped twice. And he smiles at him. And you can see Dan just kind of like, It's like just defeated, like,
Yeah.
fuck, man. Who
Yeah.
are you, dude?
Right.
Like, this was all for nothing.
Yeah.
Clearly, it doesn't even matter now.
No.
You know what I mean?
It's just like a game of capture the flag.
That's all it is for him, you know?
Yeah.
So everyone, like, right then it gets real quiet, and then a train starts rolling up, and everyone draws their guns, and that's all you can hear is the train, and everybody's quiet. You know, and it finally stops, and then the guy in the station tells him, he's like, they're expecting him in the first car to the right, sliding door. They'll be waiting for him inside. And they're like, okay. And they go to the door, and then right then Charlie starts shooting at him, right? Like the number 2, he starts shooting at him. And then
and Dan's bleeding, right?
Dan's already bleeding out the back.
Yeah.
But right then the son, Will, releases all the bulls that he was using to like hide to get close to the Charlie guy.
Yeah.
And so now they stampede towards Charlie, the number 2, and they knock him out the way. And so now he doesn't have a shot anymore, right? And all the other gang members, they don't have a shot. And so now Dan and Russell Crowe are running behind the bulls towards the train car that they need, you know, and they're getting there, and they finally get there. The door slides open. There's a jail cell inside. There's a guy in there waiting for him. They hop up. They get Russell Crowe in. Russell Crowe turns around, and he's like, well, you did it, Dan. And then right as he says that, Charlie shoots Christian Bale like 6 times. Poof, 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 poof. Just fucking kills him.
Yeah.
Kills Christian Bale right there. And then Russell Crowe's like, no! And then he jumps off the train, and he goes up to Dan, and he looks at him, and he's kind of like dumbfounded because he just didn't see that coming. You know, he's like, what the fuck? And he's looking at him. You know what I mean? And then Charlie kind of walks up, and he goes, man, for one-legged rancher, he was one tough son of a bitch, wasn't he? And then he hands him his guns, like in his belt, to like smiling, and then he kind of turns away. And then Russell Crowe grabs the gun, and he looks up, and the gang kind of walks up, and then the number 2 kind of turns, and he looks back at Russell Crowe, and they're staring at each other. And then the number 2 realizes, and he's like, and he tries to shoot him, but it's too late. Russell Crowe fucking shoots him right in the chest. And then in one shot, in fucking one thing, he shoots headshots this whole gang. All 5, just all in the head. The sniper, everybody. They're all dead. And then he goes up to his number 2, and he's clearly holding back tears. He's almost crying. And the number 2, Charlie, is looking at him. He's confused as fuck. He's just like, what? You know? And then he puts the gun to his heart. Kills him. What the fuck? So right then, the William character runs up to his dad, and he's like, Dad! He's like, you did it, Paul. You got him on the train. You did it. And then right then, his dad dies in front of him. Then the Russell Crowe character's looking at the William, and he's looking at the dad, Dan. And he's sitting there. And he wraps his gun up. He hands it to the marshal who's waiting on the train, who's just like,
the fuck is going on?
Like this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then he fucking gets on the train, closes the cell, and sits down. They close the door. Train rides off. Camera starts fading out. If you see Will holding his dad, and he's crying. Camera keeps fading. And then it looks like the movie's about to end. And then it cuts to Russell Crowe's face, and he goes, and then a horse, his black horse, takes off running and starts running alongside the train. Movie ends. 3:10 to Yuma, bitch.
What the fuck? Yo.
It's a fucking Western, dog. It's a fucking Western.
That is a unique-ass movie. That is a unique fucking movie. Holy shit.
You see why Sam said this was her favorite?
Holy shit.
It's one of those movies, too, that if you don't watch it, you don't know that the acting is incredible. I mean, because it's Russell Crowe, Christian Bale.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't, the cast is star-studded. The dialogue is incredible. The action is amazing.
The storyline's great.
Storyline is amazing. And the ending is actually good.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
I didn't see Christian Bale dying. I didn't see him getting on the train. And then the whistle and the horse, and you're like, he's
gonna escape anyway.
Again, he was gonna escape anyway.
He's gonna escape anyway, but he got on the train so the family gets the money.
Also, him killing is number 2.
Yeah. And not saying anything.
Not saying why, just killing him. And the number 2 knowing it and trying to shoot him before he does. That's my favorite scene, because the number 2, the whole movie thinks that there's this thing between them, and then in 1 second you see him go, he's about to kill me. And then he shoots. It's too late.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Beautiful movie.
Christian Bale won him over. That's what that was.
As a man. 3:10 to Yuma, everybody.
Next week. We'll see you next week.